Welcome to our Playbook podcast, your go-to space of unfiltered, real-life stories of successful beauty queens in Uganda. This is an exciting episode, and I can't wait for you guys to find out who will be joining me today. I've seen her grow. I've seen her do amazing things, and I can't wait for what she has in store for us. She'll be sharing her story, how she joined the pageant industry, the things she learned, and where she is right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Challa, Elma, Kapel, Miss Tourism Uganda 2017. She has another title. She'll be telling us about it. Welcome.
Thank you.
Finally, I have you.
Yeah.
When I was talking to you when you were still in Ayuka, you're like, I have to come and I have to be on the podcast.
Supposed to be the first person on the podcast.
I know, right?
I forgive all of you. It's okay.
Oh, but it's really good to finally have you.
Thank you.
And we are going to have a real. I hope we can punch it in 1 hour, but we'll try our best.
Yes, we'll try our best.
So, who is Elma? When someone says Elma, before Miss Tourism, before all this, who is Elma? What was Elma up to? What was she doing?
Before Miss Tourism, I was in my senior 6 back.
I know, right?
I was in my senior 6 vacation, but then I knew about Miss Tourism since I think 2015. So I was already being mentored to go for Miss Tourism, but I just didn't know the process about pageantry. I was just this one girl from Karamoja who wanted to go out there. I had just maybe the only thing I had done maybe in my life at that time was being a school speaker. Other than that, I didn't know how to walk. If you remember, Rona was one of our trainers, so she knows very well. I didn't know how to walk. I didn't know how to speak. My speech and diction was so bad. I remember even saying my name. Jara would always be like, "Challa, say your name properly." So I was very raw when I came to Miss Tourism. I had no experience at all. Yeah.
So you're there, and you've been seeing the previous Miss Tourism Karamoja girls and everything. What could you say was that one, something in you that told you, you know what? I think let me give pageantry a chance.
I think one thing I didn't mention is my mom has been a very big person, and her role in my being Miss Tourism has been very huge. So I think the fact that she didn't get chance to actually contest in these kind of beauty pageants, it drove her to encourage me to go for them. So before even thinking about Miss Tourism, she always was like, "Can you walk like this? Can you?" She felt like she was training me. So when I now did my research about what Miss Tourism was, how girls become tourism ambassadors, then they're traveling to Malaysia, I was like, let me go and try. Let me go and try this. After all, I mean, you rather try something and at least know you've tried it than not trying at all. So the fact that I had the inspiration from my parents, and then my auntie as well had contested for Miss Tourism Karamoja, and then when she went to national, she didn't make it. So I had at least 2 people who always were like, "Oh, you should do this." So those were literally one of my main pushers to go for Miss Tourism.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming from a region like Karamoja, people have the perception about what Karamoja is.
Yeah.
People haven't been there. So you get on a bus on your way. On your way to Karamoja, you have to attend boot camp. What were your expectations?
So going for Miss Tourism Karamoja, I actually boarded a bus. It was a night bus from Kampala to Moroto. The whole experience on the bus, first of all, was I had never boarded a bus from Kampala to, I had always boarded Mbale to, but then from Kampala. And then I was alone in that bus. I didn't travel with anybody. It was okay, I wouldn't say, in Uganda, we have this thing where your parents always carry you along.
Yeah.
But then for me, that was my first experience traveling this long on my own. My phone died on the way. And then I'm like, am I lost? You can't tell the locations of where you are. And then the bus passed a different route. It passed Soroti. I usually pass Nakapiripit. So to me, it was, I'm lost already. Then, but it was nice. I met a lot of girls on board who actually were coming back from Nairobi. Apparently, there are some Karamojong's girls who go to Nairobi to work as housemaids. So I met them on board and they were telling me about their experience, how excited they are to come back home. And then when I reached Moroto, my aunties were waiting for me. So it was like I had a mini boot camp before the actual boot camp. Yeah, they were now training me the Karamoja dance. I knew it, but I didn't have the energy. So according to them, I was dancing epalag. Epalag means weak. I was weak. So they were like, can you show us, do your skirt properly? So I had a mini boot camp for like 3 days before I now went for boot camp. So when I went to boot camp, I met other girls there. And it was a very good experience. To me personally, I feel like my experience in the boot camp in Karamoja was very helpful. Yeah.
So you go through the boot camp. You're now Miss Tourism Karamoja. Let me take you back. The night of the grand finale. I remember I was there. Yeah, it was packed. Like it was packed.
Yeah, it was packed.
Your mom came all the way to support you.
Yeah.
Did you have like that pressure of I need, my mom is here, my sister is here who has contested. I need to, I have like people that I need to make proud like tonight. Yeah. How was that night for you, the grand finale in Karamoja?
Interesting part is actually the grand finale 2017 was on my birthday. So it was 26th. The next day was 27th July. I can never forget that. And I was making 19. I remember the first reflection in my head was, people from Kotido are coming to support me. Kotido is where my dad comes from. And people from Kotido, if you know them, they have morale. These guys came in buses, they came with motorcycles, they were making noise. Team GA, oh my God, I'm so grateful for them. They came all the way from Kotido to Moroto on motorcycles, on what. By that time, my late brother, Papso, was one of the people like mobilizing. So for me, seeing that support alone, before even my parents coming in, I was like, okay, I have to literally make sure I go through. And I was the only girl from Kotido contesting at that time. But there was another girl who was from Kabong, and her mom as well was having the same position as my mom. So there was not really like, how some people be like, oh, your parent was this, and no, her parent was also there. And then people from Kabong also came in buses, and they also had their own morale. So they were already butting heads because two people, what. But then to me, my biggest thing was having the people from Kotido
there for you.
Then my mom obviously came later on in the evening. She was just encouraging me. But I was more scared of disappointing like the people from Kotido. Because to me, I was like, imagine these people going back all the way with their motorcycles with a loose. No, I said no. Now, the funny thing is, that night of crowning, I didn't know how to pronounce some words. My Karamojong is watered down because of school, because of different experiences. But they were teaching me how to say a word. And then instead of saying ebolokoch, I was saying abolokoch. Oh my God. People laughed in the crowd. Like, for me, I thought I was so correct. But then when people laughed, I was like, why are they laughing? I think it was the gourd and something else. That was stretch egg. They told me to say, is it a wall? Oh my God, I can never. It was so funny. Do you know the whole crowd laughing at you? They laughed. But it was, personally, I was like, okay, I've done my best.
Your best.
Yeah.
So fast forward, you win Miss Tourism Karamoja.
Yeah.
Now you're coming to Kampala to meet girls from all over Uganda, from the 12 regions. When you came to camp, did you come like with the mindset of I could win this, or you were like, you know what, I'm Miss Tourism Karamoja, let me, I've gotten a chance to represent Karamoja. Yeah. Did you have any strategy? What were you? What was your plan getting into a national camp?
To be frank, when we reached there, some girls spoke about how they had pageant coaches. Some people were like they had done, modeling before, they had done training. I sat back and I reflected. I said, will I manage? But I think for me, it was I put it in my head to just enjoy the experience, make friends as much as possible. But one thing I did and made sure I put into myself was to learn.
To learn, yeah.
So even my friends used to teach me. So I remember I made sure the best girls, I would say, were my friends. So anybody that I saw was strong at something was my friend. For me, that was my strategy. So Trudy was Amuke was very good at speech. She was very composed.
Yeah, true.
And then the way she would walk. And then in my head, I'm like, I'm going to be that girl's friend. And I have to learn something from her.
Yeah.
Then Jokudu was very aggressive. Like, that person who wants to who was very good at everything, like running, she's there. Speaking, I said she has to be my friend. So the fact that I surrounded myself with people who I felt were strong gave me a booster as well. I think I was halfway, but then having these people around me as well made my experience in boot camp very easy. Because you know, so many times when they're correcting you, you learn. So and I think I also made friends because I had a speaker. I had like a speaker, JBL. So everybody wanted my speaker to dance with and why. But then my main strategy was enjoy, learn, and then of course be friends with people who are very good, because your company determines what you're going to be.
Yeah. So you go through the stages of camp, you know, elimination, and it's the night of the grand finale.
Yeah.
You get on stage. People from Karamoja. Now let's now leave Kotido. Now you have the whole of Karamoja there. What was it like? If you could just flash back that night.
You know, we're backstage and then someone comes and it's like, Karamoja has arrived in buses. I said, what? Like, in my head, I was like, what? These people had ferried students, Karamoja students from different universities. The whole was, half of Serena was Karamoja, literally. And by the time the event was starting, my mom had not yet arrived. She was still in Mbale. And they were trying so hard to come. So for me, my energy was low because I'm like, my parent is going to miss that show. But then people are telling me, people are so many. But I'm like, I'm waiting for one person. I don't care about how many people there are. I'm waiting for one person. So when I went on stage, we're now dancing. I saw her arrive. Actually, when we're doing the opening dance, that's when she arrived. But then there's a way you get scared again, like you're seeing all these people shouting and what. But then it again came to my head like, oh, they're actually here for you. So do your best. You have like 1 hour, 2 hours. I always give myself a timeline. I'm like, you have 2 hours of this show and you're done. So I danced like a mad person. You people, I dance Karamoja dance. Even you would think I am perfect. Kumbe, I just learned. But I did so well. I made sure to at least outshine to do the best I had ever done like that day. Because I was like, first of all, I can recognize the faces close to me. But I think also because our trainer had put me at the front, so that kind of boosted me, because I was like, okay, maybe I can actually dance, maybe I can smile. So going on stage, seeing all these people, I was like, okay, let me do this for them. And knowing that you have like all these heads, like I don't know, 100 plus people coming to support you, I think that was really dope.
Yeah. So you go down top 5, top 3, and they're announcing, you know, the winners. and then you hear like, Miss Tourism Uganda is Challa, Elma, Kapel. Like at that moment, could you remember anything?
I think the only way I can remember what happened, like those last 10 minutes or so, was the video that I watched. Because personally, I think my ears were blocked. I was so scared, like I was panicking, my hands were sweating, we're holding ourselves behind there. And then when they read the first 2 people, for some reason, I knew I was going to win. I'm not going to lie. But as soon as they read Trudy as the first runner-up and then Anita, because to me personally, I felt like those were the strongest girls. But when they called them and I was left back with 2 other people, I personally knew that I won.
You're like, I have this. Yeah.
So I began smiling. Actually, if you watch that clip, I began smiling right from when they read the first runner-up. I began smiling. To me, I was like, okay, I have this, the first Karamoja to win this crown for Karamoja. So, and then having all these people here to support me, I just had Joram. You know the way Joram says, Challa from Karamoja. I literally just had only Karamoja. Like I did not even hear my name properly. I just had from Karamoja. And I just began crying. But then at the same time, I don't want people to see that I'm crying and stuff. You do yoga wave.
And you said,
yeah, and that was literally the night.
So you're, being someone who has, you're fresh from high school, you had no plans for the world because now you are joining university, and then you're put into this limelight, position. You're now an ambassador of tourism for Uganda. What changed about you could you still be the same? Challa, certain things had to just change. What do you feel like mostly changed about you?
I think the responsibility immediately changed my mindset, first of all. I now knew I'm no longer just like a young girl who is going to uni. I knew I have this responsibility as a tourism ambassador, and then also having to go and represent the country in Malaysia. So I needed to put my mind and myself in that position. And then obviously we get proper training after the crowning. I think another thing that actually made me think so deep into the position was, you meet the different ministers, different members of parliament. You meet the Minister of Tourism, which as an ordinary person, you don't get such chances.
Yeah, you would, yeah.
So that obviously changed my mindset. I was like, okay, I'm not just an ordinary person. I had to change the way I dress, the way I walk. Obviously, you had to walk with more confidence. The way I speak to people. I mean, sometimes when you approach people, you're just chill. But then when I approached people as Miss Tourism Uganda, I had to look the part. That's why even whenever I go to boot camp and talk to girls, I always tell them, make sure you're able to present yourself. And when people see you, they can immediately relate that, oh, this is a beauty queen, or this is so and so. So I made sure to wear my title from the time I was crowned. Yeah.
So, tell us about your experience in Malaysia representing Uganda. Young girl with no experience in pageantry. It was your first pageant and you had won. Getting to Malaysia, how would you describe your experience?
I reached Malaysia. First of all, as I think the youngest person, I was 19. Most of the girls were 26, 28. I think 28, 29. They were around that age. And then here I am, 19. I had packed my work clothes, like, your normal clothes. I reached there, I have 3 suitcases. Girls had 8 suitcases, 9 suitcases. Someone has a national costume in a whole different suitcase. Me, everything is in 3 suitcases. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to even start? Then I was put in a room with India and I think Russia. I don't know if it was Russia or Croatia. I think Russia. And she had this nice blonde hair. And I'm like, you people, will I manage? The girl from Russia organizes the bathroom. There were different styles of hair stuff. Hair color, hair straightener, hair this. Me, I only had one thing.
One thing on your hair.
A blow dryer. I only had a blow dryer, of which I had a wig. And in my head, I'm like, how am I going to style this wig with a blow dryer? I actually even had a curling thingies, but they were not electric. You just put
the rods.
And these girls have everything. Like the toilet bag is huge with all these nice cosmetics. And then you meet girls who have already done certain procedures. They've done like veneers, they've done boob jobs, they've worked on themselves. And then it gives you some reflection. You start like looking in the mirror and you're like, are my teeth okay?
What am I doing here?
And then of course by that time I was a bit slimmer and what. So seeing all these different things, I now begin being scared. I'm like, this girl is already experienced. Like the person who won, she was from Philippines. She had done 8 pageants.
Wow.
8 pageants, including international pageants. And then there is me on my first pageant. So the intimidation obviously kicks in. But I think mainly it was because I was not prepared. If maybe someone had told me, prepared me, like prior to going there, that you're going to experience this and that, I think probably my mindset would have been totally different. But then when I reached there, the shock of seeing, during daytime, we would have different shows. Like in the morning you have an interview, maybe a TV station. Then in the evening you're going maybe to a university, you would go to like Limco Queen. And then in the evening you're doing maybe dinner. And girls had different outfits for everything. Even jogging in the morning, someone will come with a different sportswear. Breakfast, a different outfit. You enter in the bus to go to a different outfit. You come back for lunch, they change. Me with my 3 suitcases.
You had one outfit for each day.
I had one outfit for each day and maybe evenings. Yeah. But then still, I didn't think we had events in the evening. I thought in the evenings we were practicing for the show. No. We even had dinners. You have to wear a proper long dress and things like that. But I think it mainly just comes back to how Ugandans are still not yet well exposed to pageantry. And we need platforms like this, obviously, to now guide our sisters who want to join pageantry.
Yeah. So you come back from Malaysia and you now transition into your position as promoting Uganda's tourism. What can you say are some of those memorable things that you did during your year that you felt impacted society by then?
I think during my year, first of all, is when we started the road safety campaign. So we did a road safety campaign in Karamoja where we were trying to educate, especially the border riders, that you need to ride safely because your life is precious. And then we moved around. We actually drew zebra crossings as well. We did a little bit of stickers and whatnot. I also did a tree planting campaign, of which I did one of them with the Right Honorable Speaker, Rebecca Alitwala in Moroto, which to me, I feel that was really, really cool because I traveled with her from Kampala on a plane, on those private planes. We went together to Moroto. So I was excited. I was like, hey, I'm in presence of rubbing shoulders with her, amazing. Because, at that time, everybody, even now, we respect her for all the things she has done for the girls. All the things she has done for different people. So I was really, really in awe, like being in her presence. I also worked with different girls. We supported girls to start up different skilling programs. I think most of the work that I did was promoting Uganda's tourism on social media. I traveled to London to promote Uganda. Actually, there was a festival there was an event I was attending. It's called the Attica International Development Organization. They had an event, a conference in London, and I went there as a tourism ambassador, where I was able to promote Karamoja's culture. I was able to showcase the different game parks, the different things we have in our country, and then to tell the people in the UK that we see in our country we have this and that. And it was amazing because I actually even met and spoke to the ambassador who was there by the time. I don't remember his name, but I met him at the Independence Day celebration that time, and it was really interesting to see how they were welcoming of the fact that we wanted to promote Uganda's tourism even in the diaspora. So to me, the highlight of actually being able to travel and represent Uganda, even in Malaysia, actually, starting from Malaysia, because I did speak with the ambassador in
the ambassador to Malaysia,
to
the ambassador
Uganda.
of Malaysia to Uganda. Yeah.
So I went to the they call it what? How they call that?
The embassy.
I went to the embassy, and we gave them some material to promote Uganda's tourism, and then I also gave them a bit of my knowledge. I'm like, maybe on your screens you can do this, or if you work with UTB, they could provide you with maybe some other information about Uganda's tourism. I think we actually, most of the things we did were like how they call it, philanthropic. We supported a lot of maybe people struggling. We visited different baby homes. We cleaned communities, which was part of like our heart of trying to move our country to look beautiful, because to promote your country it needs to look a certain way. So we did that, and then obviously traveling to different game parks in Uganda to showcase the beauty of Uganda.
So you had quite an impactful year. I think up to now, so many new beauty queens relate to you. There are times when you ask them and someone can only name like 2 or 3 and your name actually pops up. So it shows that you have actually been impactful. So most beauty queens struggle to now fit into the normal life. When the lights are done and now you've handed over your crown to the next beauty queen. How was your transition like? Entering into life now, people have a certain picture they have of you as being Miss Tourism Uganda. Did you struggle having to keep that up, to maintain it?
I think with me, because I was in uni, it was a bit not so difficult. So I went back to my normal uni life. But then one thing I kept doing was I always showed up. For example, when Miss Tourism needed me to do something for them, I didn't say, I'm no longer a queen. I always showed up. I made sure I was light. So if they called me to go anywhere, I didn't have to like burden them. And I also wanted the light. Being seen or being remembered for something you've done, for me, that's what I wanted. So even after my crown, the fact that I was still being called as Miss Tourism 2017, I always showed up. I went for I still did TV interviews to promote Miss Tourism Uganda. I still represented Miss Tourism Uganda in different platforms, in different ways I could. And the best way I could transition obviously was I had friends around me that had done pageantry, so I met pageant sisters. So it was very easy for me to like have people who are like-minded. So we knew how to uplift each other, how to support each other. So we've literally been friends from like 2017 up to now.
Okay. So what could you say are some of the challenges you faced? And I think they could relate to most beauty queens in Uganda, looking at our industry here in Uganda. What are some of those challenges you feel you faced, and you feel like maybe if there were solutions, or if they were done better, representation would have surpassed even more than you would expect?
Firstly, how they call them, the pageant organizations like Miss Tourism, Miss Uganda. I think, like personally, Miss Tourism, the first thing they need to do is to properly guide the girls. The
girls, yeah.
Yes, because sometimes after you've got the title, you're just left to navigate things on your
life,
own.
Yeah.
For example, getting, I wouldn't say gigs, but getting ways of staying relevant as a beauty queen. It doesn't have to remain on the beauty queen. The company can also hold your hand sometimes, and it should be the case actually.
Yeah.
They should be able to get you things to do, or ways you can continue being relevant. I think that was one way I struggled, because most of the things I had to do on my own, or with the support of my parents. And then secondly, financial support. I know the position Miss Tourism is just a title. In contrary to what people think, maybe you have money because of Miss Tourism.
And when you show up, they expect you to have the money.
Yeah, so people expect you to have money. Like recently, someone was saying, "Oh, you didn't thank me because when you became Miss Tourism." It is a free position, like, for crying out loud. You're just Miss Tourism Uganda, and then what you do after that is what determines what you're going to be, or how your title is going to go, how your reign is going to go. So the financial support was very, very needed. Sometimes you don't have maybe an outfit, and it's very hard to work with designers nowadays, because you can't really undermine somebody's hustle. People need at least to be supported in a way, especially as the young people. I can't start up my business and then you expect free things from me. No. So if Misters maybe found a way of partnering, like, with different fashion companies, but also promote them and give them monetary support, because at the end of the day, they're using their materials, they're using their skills, and we wouldn't want to just use people. I think for me that was one thing that put me back, because even when I was preparing to go to Malaysia, my family had to put a lot of money, like in terms of your gowns, in terms of your wardrobe, makeup that you have to carry, your entire wardrobe. You're literally buying everything. But if there was that support of where Miss Tourism maybe already has a plan of when the girl wins, you're going to maybe support her with 5 gowns or 6 gowns, and then maybe the rest of the things, like the girl's family will now struggle and do that, and provide, maybe you meet halfway. But then that lack of that support makes people butt heads at the end of the day, and then it makes girls fail to remain relevant, because they're not able to transport themselves. You find girls can't even fuel the car, because you win a car, but where's the fuel for the car?
And maintenance.
Maintenance, small things. So I feel the financial support was very, very, very a big thing for me. And I think also media. 2017 we're just learning social media. It wasn't really as strong as it is right now. But I think right now, pageantry, we should focus on social media. We should focus on making sure our impact is strong. Wherever the queen is going, what is she doing? How is she going? How does she look like? Her presence. Make sure it's felt. And the only way we can do that is by making sure we are very active on social media. I think that's one thing that actually helped me keep relevant. Because even right from boot camp, I would post even that I had an Ashy phone. I had my iPhone 6 at that time, but I would post my selfies with the makeup looking whatever. But still, that's how people were able to reach me, because some people knew, like from Facebook. By the time we used to use Facebook, you go live on Facebook with your Ashy phone. And that's how people got us, because we made sure we used the social media handles. Like, if the girls maybe had a chance to run like the Miss Tourism page, like, let's see, what do you do in your life? What do you do when you're going for some of these events? How are you preparing yourself? What kind of life do you live aside from just being Miss Tourism Uganda? Because that's what interests people. Because people want to know, yes, you're Miss Tourism Uganda, but how are you balancing? Because if you realize, sometimes girls are like, oh, I cannot manage school while being Miss Tourism. But they want to know, how did you balance? And that's why many people keep coming to ask me, how did I balance? But truth is, it was difficult. I literally had to restart. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a way Uganda, I should say, perceives beauty queens to be, just beautiful girl, a beautiful face. Most times they don't expect you to say something that is sensible. Have you had those moments where you have been perceived or you have been judged a certain way simply because you're a beauty queen, and maybe someone just may not take you serious? How have you been able to navigate life like that?
I think that everyone who is a beauty queen faces that every day. Even now, I still face that. So many people think I'm just a beautiful face who can't speak anything. Some people see my pictures and they're like, she can't speak. They just assume immediately that you're blonde.
You're blonde, yeah.
But on the contrary, when you go for beauty pageants, we're actually taught speech and diction. We're taught speech and dictions. You're taught leadership roles. We have different times. We have tutors. We have people come in. We have different MDs. We are taught financial support. A lot of things you learn in that 1 month of boot camp. So looking at a beauty queen and saying, oh, she can't talk, oh, she can't do this, I think that is really, really irrelevant in this age and time. And with the different impact that beauty queens are doing right now, I feel sometimes even beauty queens are doing way more than politicians are doing. Because you see, beauty queens are everywhere. They're impacting their communities. Just last week, there was a beauty queen, Patricia, who did a Pada Girl run in Arua. And right now, I'm happy to see other people are starting their own. I saw Pada Girl run in Maracha. I've seen Koboko. I've seen all those different. But that started because one beauty queen decided to support her community and end period poverty. So our works actually are way more impactful than people imagine. The things we have done, the lives we have touched, the way we end up being role models to young girls because of the way we maybe carry ourselves, because of the things we have done. I feel we are way more than just a face. So people should start looking at what have they done, what can they actually do, instead of looking at the title, oh, that's Miss Uganda, oh, that's Miss Tourism, or she cannot do this. That's not the case. They should start looking more they should interest themselves. That's the right word to use. Interest yourself in getting more knowledge about what do these girls actually do in our communities. I see Miss Tourism girls doing Pearl, Let the Pearl Shine campaign. They're literally cleaning communities, markets, things like that. But tell me, who in a community can actually get up and go and start cleaning a market? Nobody can wake up and say, okay, let's go and run to donate pads to girls. It's us who start these initiatives, and then people come and maybe turn them into political avenues, or maybe come and they want to take that clap, they want to take that thunder. No. Beauty queens are way more than just a face. We are a movement. We are literally the change that our community needs. Yeah.
So earlier on I was telling the guests that you have a title that you should tell us about. So you're aspiring to become a member of parliament, a youth member of parliament for Northern Region. For someone who would like to know, Elma, where did, all this... I remember we had a chat about it, about a certain Miss Universe from Great Britain. But as Elma, when you sat down and you're like, was there any influence, or did you just say, you know what, I think this could be a path that I would like to take?
It actually started 2018. When I was still Miss Tourism. I think I went somewhere and I spoke, and then certain youth leaders from Karamoja approached me, and they interested me in this position. They were like, oh, you should go for youth member of parliament. We shall definitely back you up. We've not had somebody from Karamoja represent. This was 2018, but I was still in university. So when we asked about the age range, it's from 18 to 29, and I was like, let me first finish school. I still have time. Let me prepare myself properly. Because I know, yes, there are people who juggle politics and school. But personally, my personal preference was, let me at least have some qualifications. Because I know when you're going for politics in Uganda, it's senior 6 papers. But personally, I wanted to at least have a qualification and a career. So this started 2018. I remember 2021, that was the last election. 2021 election, they were like, oh, are you coming? But I was still in school. Still in school. So my parent guided me, and she suggested that I first complete my master's. So right now I'm happy to say I'm actually completing my master's. My graduation is in November, so congratulations to me. And then when last year 2024, yes, I again did my research on what is a youth member of parliament. What do they represent? What do they do? Yeah. If you look into it, the youth of Uganda make up to 78%, and when you become a youth member of parliament, meaning you're representing the majority. And this particular position being a northern youth member of parliament, which means I'm representing Karamoja, Lango, Acholi, and West Nile. Yeah. So it is huge. So I made sure to first learn what is this position about. I needed to interest myself with the knowledge of who are the voters, who are the people I actually work with, and things like that. And when we did our research, we realized it would be fit best for me to go for Northern Youth Member of Parliament and not National Female Member of Parliament. Why? I am from Karamoja. And when we did, like I said, we made sure to do proper consultation. You don't just walk into things. Personally, I feel like you a position like this, you need to have enough knowledge. So I went back, reflected, met with different youth leaders, different people. We now realize the need to actually have somebody represent Karamoja in this position, because over 30 years they've never had a Karamojong represent. So I felt, yes, it's my time, and let me come and actually represent our people. Our people have been marginalized, our people have been left out, and I believe being a connection between the people who have been left out and the rest of northern region would be the best thing. I decided to stand for this position to actually represent the youth of northern region and to amplify our voices.
Yeah. So can you say your things that you learned about yourself when you were Miss Tourism Uganda, to the pageant industry, leadership skills that you are able to gain along the way, the people you met along the way? Can you say some of those things have gave you that confidence that actually I can actually be a youth member of parliament?
Yes, definitely. Because first of all, when you speak on different platforms, it prepares you for leadership. Because being a leader, you need to first of all be fluent. Then secondly, what is your message? What is the message that I have to give the people of northern region? So being a beauty queen prepared me for this. Why? I've spoken on big stages. I've been able to convey my message in different ways, through maybe my dancing, through my speech. So when you connect it with leadership, it actually prepares your mindset to be able to actually fight for a cause with passion. So the fact that I did things through philanthropy, I did things out of passion. Why can't I be a leader? Because when you now transition into leadership, you now have to be a leader for the people. So you become a person who is passionate about your people. You're passionate about change. You're passionate about actually bringing social development and transformation into your communities. So I felt, my pageant career actually prepared me to now be a passionate leader. I feel instead of having politicians, now we have people who are very different can bring a different touch to Uganda's politics.
I'll become a bit personal. You have a mom who is in the political space. Is there any can you say any influence from her, or how have you been able to when your mom she sees you're going into this space that she has been in, she knows the pros, she knows the cons, she knows everything you have to go through to actually win and represent people in parliament. How has her influence been in your life? When you told her that mom, I want to do this, how has it influenced your life?
The conversation actually went very funny. She's like, are you sure? Are you sure? She's like, are you sure? Would you manage? Because to her, she felt, I haven't, as much as I've done pageantry, as much as I've been out there, I've also been very reserved. Well, when you go into politics, everything,
Oh,
like everything you do is outside
You're
there.
opening up your space. Yeah.
And her being a mother, she has shielded me and my brother from like negativity, from that different type of bashing and things like that. That's why many people didn't actually know about it. Or they knew of us, but they didn't know much about us.
About you, yeah.
Yes. So that's why even right now there's a lot of propaganda going around. Oh, I didn't grow up in Uganda. When actually me, I'm a child from here. I grew up in different places in Uganda. Amudat, Kotido, where. But to my parents, she was so scared of me facing that kind of backlash. And for me, I respected that. But her guidance, her actually preparing me to come out and be like, okay, when you go there, this is what you're going to expect. People are not going to be easy on you. Nobody's going to come and shield you because now you're going to be outside there. And she actually keeps telling me, oh, you're going to run your race, and I ran mine because it's two different things entirely. She's representing women from Nakapiriprit, and I will be representing the youth, and mine is more mainstream. So I felt having the leadership guidance, having somebody holding my hand into this new space was very helpful as well. Because now I know, like, oh yes, people are not easy. People are ruthless. Nobody will hold your hand and be like, oh, no, that one is done. Now it's time to be aggressive. Because in the pageant world, we're more calm, you're more graceful. But then when you come in, but when you come into the political sphere, people are ruthless. Somebody will say something to your face because maybe to them they feel that's their opinion.
That's their opinion, yeah.
But you need to have a tough skin and you be ready to actually welcome all this information. So my parents being in this field has actually, I would say, is a upper hand for me because she has prepared my path to actually be able to walk through the footprints she has created for me, and she has also prepared my mindset for what I should expect from the people. I think also to understand the demographic, how actually things are going to be, the politics and all that. Because if I didn't have the guidance from somebody who is in there, I think I would get lost. But I'm grateful to actually have that kind of support.
Okay. And how has been your the reception of the people from home? How is the reception? Is it warm? Do you feel like, okay, I could actually win this? How has been the reception?
I would say the reception has been amazing. But the thing that impresses me the most even is when we go even deep in Kapel, Moru, deep. That's where I come from in Kotido. I come from a village called Kotido, Kapel, Moru. It's the largest village in Eastern Central Africa. And when you go there, it's impressive to find even an old man knows me from Miss Tourism. Like even an old person will be like, oh, I remember her from Miss Tourism. So it shows that at least I have impacted in some way. So I'm not just a new face coming to the people. And most of them are like, oh yeah, you actually represented us at Miss Tourism. We believe you can represent us now. So they have been very, very welcoming. I'm so grateful for that. My family has been very supportive. Everybody is hands-on. When we go in the communities, recently we had sub-parish elections, village level, and then sub-county. And my people actually let me contest unopposed I became a youth chairperson for Kanair because they gladly were like, let her go, so she's able to vote for herself. Because if you don't come through the structures, you'll not be able to access the voting area. So I needed to be a voter for myself. So once we explained this to the youth of Kanair in Kotido, they immediately were like, no, let her go. Let her go. And yes, my mom is from Nakapiriprit, my dad is from Kotido, but she has also done some things to change lives in Kotido. So they were even showing me a school that she built, like a building block. So they're like, oh, your mom actually built that. And they were like, we believe the leadership that you have from your parents, the guidance that you have. My dad was a soldier. He's late, but he was a soldier and he literally fought for the people of Northern Region. He was part of the soldiers that fought the LRA. He also traveled to Mogadishu. So he has literally been fighting for this country. So when I approach some people who know my dad, they're like, oh yeah, your father was a very authentic person. We believe you have his blood, you should carry on can at least change the lives of the people in your communities. And then when I go to those who know my mom, they're like, oh yes, your mom is such a good person. She's very friendly, she's very down to earth, she speaks to everybody, she does this and this, and she actually impacts people. So me having those different traits and those different people from different platforms makes people feel they can actually trust me to become who they feel I will become. And I am so grateful to actually have those different kinds of platforms. The different background, my dad being a soldier, in that I can speak to soldiers and they're like, huyu mtoto wetu, this is our daughter, you know. And then when I go to the other side, they're like, yoko kuku, this is our daughter. Like the Karamojongs literally own me as their own. That's why right now in my campaign I have a slogan that says Ayok Pakna. That means it's our time, now, because we've literally been marginalized. And even when I go to other regions, actually, because we went to West Nile, we went to Acholi, we went to Langwa. I've actually traversed all the regions now, and the reception was very, very good.
Nice,
Yes, because most of them, I mean, as much as some people wanted to make it look as propaganda, but then most of them looked at it as an opportunity to have somebody that can actually get them the resources that they need or actually get them the exactly what they need. So I'm grateful to have received that kind of warm welcome. And I think also my personality shines when I meet them, because everybody's like, oh, you're so nice, you're so down to earth, you're so welcoming. And I believe in an impactful kind of things. That's why my entire campaign is also going to be very impactful, very resourceful. And even when we approach people, we are not going to just be talking. We're going to make sure we impact our communities and make sure we leave change. Yes.
That's the most important thing, change. So for any young girl out there that seeks to think of joining pageantry, what advice could you give her?
I would say make sure you know why you want to join pageantry in the first place. Don't join pageantry simply because you feel you're so beautiful or because you want to compete with a certain person. Because you know some people see somebody competing and then they're like, I can also beat that one. No, you shouldn't join it because of that. Don't join it to prove a point, but join it to actually fulfill yourself. What do you want as a person? Is it adding on to what you already have? So I would advise, like mostly girls, if you're still in school, study. Complete your school, get it out of the way. We now want pageant queens who actually are educated, pageant queens who can actually represent us on platforms. You see, for example, we have examples of South Africa. Miss South Africa crowns girls who are doctors, girls who are lawyers, girls who have proper careers. So why can't we see that here in Uganda? We need to start having girls who actually, when they walk out there, they are representation. I mean, that's a bit hypocritical because myself, when I contested, I was young, but I feel that also contributed to why I maybe may not have done so well in the international pageant. We should instead have girls be able to represent what they actually can by maybe their careers. So for example, if you're a doctor, you'll be passionate about something. If you're a pilot, you'll be passionate about something. So you should be able to come into pageantry when pageantry is just supplementing to who you are, but it shouldn't be your entire identity. Your entire identity shouldn't be I am Miss Tourism Uganda. No, your identity should be your career, your name, what you've done, and then Miss Tourism just complements that, so that when you even go to speak to people, you command respect. Because imagine a Miss Tourism Uganda who is a lawyer, who is a doctor. That's why, for example, Lesego Chombo from Botswana, from after Miss World, she was immediately given a position as a member of parliament, and she didn't even contest. She was just given a position, and that was simply because of her background as a lawyer, her background working. And then when she went to Miss Uganda, it just supplemented who she was and her different philanthropic things that she did. So I would advise girls, before you go into pageantry, look into yourself and see that pageantry is just adding to you, and you're not using it as a stepping stone for something.
If the Challa now could meet the 19-year-old Challa, what would you tell her?
Okay. When I was 19, I think I was so playful. So what I would tell the Challa right now, the Challa of 19, is you've done so well. You have a first class in global business management, and you're completing your masters, and now you're competing to become a youth member of parliament, and you're one of the few ladies contesting in this race. So you've literally done it. So the 19-year-old that was scared on stage, that was scared to speak to people, to approach people, has literally grown. And she's a big girl now.
A big girl
and
now.
I'm ready to take up space.
A big girl moves.
Yeah.
So if you could give us one funny memory of your time as Miss Tourism Uganda. Could be from boot camp, from Karamoja. Just one funny moment that you can never forget.
Okay, I have two actually. The first one was in Karamoja. I remember we went to, one of the days we went to the kraals where they keep cattle. So in Karamoja, we are nomadic pastoralists. So sometimes the cattle doesn't stay at home. There's a place they take it. So we went to, in Karamoja, we call it Tomanawi. I don't know how to translate that into English, but we went to Nawi where they were keeping the cows. And we had the whole experience, the night routine, early morning. I wake up very early. I think all my friends know that about me. I'm a very early riser, and everybody will be still sleeping, but me, I'll wake up, do everything. Yeah. So I woke up as usual, 7 sharp. I begin walking around. So I go and find the boys milking cows, and then they were drinking directly from there. So for me, I'm like,
amazing.
Oh wow, this is interesting. I asked them to try. So the photographer saw me like interact with these people, and he came and took different pictures of me with the cows. Remember, I was the only contestant awake. Now, when other people woke up, these people were done with that entire phase of like milking cows. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the mistake the photographer did was post. Now, he goes and posts, and when he posts, I'm the only person appearing. It made 2 girls dropped out of the race. No, they were like, no, you people have already favored this girl. I tell you, I was shocked. These girls came, they were crying. That was very... Then the second one, in National Boot Camp, don't I fall down? I go to the bathroom. Someone has poured soap down. I fall down. I literally have a mark on my shoulder. I hit myself. I fall down. I real fainted. I woke up at IMC. Until you fell down. You people, what happened to me?
I just remember someone saying, "Oh man, I put them toy."
Personally, that was very hilarious because I was like, I just went to the toilet. Next thing, I wake up in the hospital. I have soap on my legs. I have marks. My hand here, I had literally scratches and it was bleeding. My head was hurting. And then the doctor was like, how many hands are you seeing? They thought I have a concoction. But then thank God, nothing else happened to me. It was just that. It was just a fall. Yeah.
Would like to talk the whole day.
Oh God.
But
we'll never complete.
We can never. Yeah. But what's your message to the youth of Northern Uganda? Yeah, just look into that camera and talk to that youth that you're representing. Okay.
Matadadang mingoni itienedi itieningo. I'm greeting people in the different languages of northern region. I am Challa Elma Kapel, an aspirant for Northern Youth Member of Parliament. I personally would love to tell you that I am the candidate to beat, and I am the candidate for this race. My slogan is transforming ideas into action, and I believe I have started that right now. I am going to make sure I have an impactful campaign that changes the lives and our livelihood for us, the youth of Northern Region. So get ready for this and let us work together. Do not abandon where you came from, because it's us who literally will change our communities. I personally have a lot I would talk about in terms of my political career, but I think I'll have a different avenue. But mainly the things I want to work on in terms of the youth include education. I want to make sure they have access to their leaders, and then socioeconomic transformation, and then fighting unemployment. So those are the 4 key principles that I have running, and those are my core values for my campaign. So in terms of working with the youth of Northern Region, we have to look at the youth of the communities, the youth at work, and then the youth in schools. But if I go into my campaign, we'll sleep here. But I hope I have your support.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing having you on it podcast, and thank you so much for sharing your ideas, and we are happy that one of the aims of this podcast was to share impactful stories of successful beauty queens, and you're among them. So I'm sure everyone who will listen to your story, they'll pick one or two things from it, and it will be very impactful. So thank you so much for being here. And we wish you all the best. We hope that Northern Region can give you the opportunity to represent them, because I believe you'll do amazing things.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in to this exciting episode. And I'll leave you with my 2 cents. The crown may be temporary, but the impact lasts a lifetime. See you in the next episode.